Hey everyone, and a huge welcome to all you newly elected elders out there.
Yes, welcome.
Congratulations on, stepping up to serve on session.
Yeah.
Um, Big responsibility. You're in for a fascinating 3 years, trust me
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
We're going to do a deep dive today into something you might think you already know,
Right.
the mission of the
Yeah.
church. But we're gonna go kind of beyond the usual, Sunday school answers.
Yeah.
We're really going to see how it connects to your work on session.
That's right. That's right. And a warm welcome from me as well. It's so fantastic to see so many new faces
Yeah.
ready to dive into this vital work. I think you'll find that understanding the theological foundation behind being an elder can really transform how you approach your responsibilities.
Absolutely. So, okay, our main source today, we're going right to the source. We're going straight to the Book of Order.
Straight to the source.
And right off the bat, it talks about God, the Trinity, being the source of creation, redemption, sustenance, rule, and transformation of, well, everything.
It's a pretty big topic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty grand statement, right?
Yes.
I mean, what jumps out at you when you hear that, kind of looking through the lens of session work?
Well, it really highlights how expansive the mission of the church really is.
Yeah.
And as elders, we're not just focused on kind of the internal workings of our own congregation.
Right.
We're part of something much bigger. God's work in the world is vast and ongoing, and our role on session is really a way to participate in that.
Oh, I love that. That's such a good point. It
Oh.
makes you think about how our, little decisions as elders can actually, have these ripple effects outwards.
They do.
But how do we go from this, cosmic level of creation and redemption to, approving the annual budget or deciding on a new roof?
Right.
What's the connection there?
Well, I think a good way to think about it is every decision we make, every policy we put in place should be rooted in this understanding of God's ongoing work. The source lays out some specific ways that the church participates in that work: proclaiming the good news, offering grace through the sacraments, and calling people to discipleship.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
I can see how we can tie those actions to concrete session responsibilities. So, for instance, proclaiming the good news.
Yes.
That could mean, supporting our church's outreach programs that serve the community, right?
Exactly. And it's not just about, funding. It's about ensuring that those programs are truly effective in sharing the message of God's love.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, of course, there's offering grace through the sacraments. And session plays a key role in making sure these sacraments are accessible and meaningful for everyone in the congregation.
For sure. Okay, and what about, calling people to discipleship? What might that look like in terms of session work? That feels a little less concrete than the other two.
Yeah, it's a little less, a little harder to define. But it's really about fostering an environment where discipleship can flourish. That could mean supporting adult education programs, creating opportunities for spiritual growth, and even just ensuring that our church is a welcoming and inclusive community.
Right.
Where people feel encouraged to deepen their faith.
I'm starting to see how, all these seemingly kind of mundane tasks that we do on session are actually connected to this much grander vision.
Yes.
Of God's work in the world. It's actually quite inspiring.
It is. It is.
I'm getting fired up for these meetings now.
That's right.
The source also mentions this idea that there is no higher goal in life than to glorify and enjoy God now and forever. How should that shape how we approach our work as elders?
Well, to me, that phrase is just a powerful reminder that, serving on session shouldn't feel like a burden.
Right.
But rather a joyful expression of our faith. Yes, there will be challenging moments, but ultimately, we're called to find joy and fulfillment in participating in God's work.
But let's be honest, sometimes session work does feel more like a chore than a joyful expression of faith.
I hear you.
Dealing with, conflict, tough decisions, budget constraints. I mean, it can be draining. How do we hold on to that sense of joy when things get tough?
Well, I think it helps to remember that we're all in this together. We're a community of believers working side by side to live out our faith.
Yeah.
And there's something profoundly meaningful in that.
Yeah.
Plus, keeping this bigger picture in mind, connecting our work to God's grand plan can definitely renew our sense of purpose.
That's so true. The source also talks about covenant fellowship with God and how that's a core part of the church's identity. I think sometimes people hear covenant and their eyes just kind of glaze over.
Yeah.
Can you break that down for us a little bit and talk about how it relates to the work of session?
Sure. A covenant is a sacred agreement. It's a bond of mutual love and commitment. And in the Presbyterian tradition, we believe that God has entered into a covenant with humanity, offering us grace and calling us to respond with faithfulness. So covenant fellowship means living in that relationship with God and with each other. And session's role is to nurture and protect that covenant fellowship within the congregation.
So it's not just about making sure the church runs smoothly.
Right.
It's about cultivating a community where people can, really experience the fullness of that covenant relationship.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's a pretty powerful responsibility.
It is, absolutely. It's about creating a space where people can grow in their faith, support each other, and live out their discipleship in meaningful ways.
Wow. This deep dive has been truly eye-opening to all our new elders out there. Remember, you're not just like managing a church. You're participating in something much bigger.
That's right.
Something truly profound. Embrace this opportunity with open hearts and minds.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great.
I think so too. And as you embark on this journey, I just want to encourage you to ask yourself, how can you, as a member of Session, contribute to creating a church that truly embodies this mission that we've been exploring? What unique gifts and perspectives do you bring to this vital work? I have a feeling you'll find that these next 3 years are filled with challenges, yes, but also with incredible meaning and purpose.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.